There's a version of you that already exists, not in the future, not in some distant dream, but right now, buried under hesitation, comfort, and excuses. And every single morning you wake up, you're given a choice. Not a big, dramatic, life-altering decision. No, something much quieter, much more dangerous. The choice to stay the same, or the choice to become someone unrecognizable. Simon Sinek often talks about starting with why. And if you're honest with yourself right now, your mornings probably don't start with why. They start with reaction. You wake up, you grab your phone, you scroll, you compare, you consume. Before your feet even touch the ground, the world has already told you who you are, what you should want, and how far behind you feel. That's not how transformation works. Transformation starts when you take control back, especially in the first hour of your day. Because the way you start your morning is the way you live your life. If your morning is chaotic, your life becomes reactive. If your morning is intentional, your life becomes powerful. You don't need motivation. Let's get that straight. Motivation is temporary. It fades. It depends on mood, on weather, on how well you slept. What you need is discipline. You need a system. You need something you do even when you don't feel like doing it. Because the truth is, the person you want to become, they don't negotiate with comfort. Think about that version of you. The one who is focused, confident, respected. The one who doesn't hesitate. The one who wakes up early, moves with purpose, and doesn't need validation from anyone. That version of you isn't built overnight. It's built in the quiet decisions no one sees. It's built when your alarm goes off and you don't hit snooze. It's built when you choose movement over laziness. It's built when you choose growth over comfort. Every single morning. You see, most people wait for a perfect moment. They say, I'll start tomorrow, or, I'll begin when I feel ready. But readiness is a lie. You don't become ready first, you act first, and readiness follows. The people you admire, they weren't born with some special advantage. They just made a decision earlier than you did. They decided that their future mattered more than their comfort. And here's the hard truth, you can't become someone new if you keep repeating the same habits. If you wake up the same way, think the same thoughts, surround yourself with the same distractions, you will stay the same person. Change doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency, not one powerful morning, but hundreds of disciplined ones. So what does that look like? It looks like waking up before the world demands anything from you. It looks like sitting in silence for a moment and asking yourself, who do I need to be today? Not what do I need to do? Who do I need to be? Because when you change your identity, your actions follow naturally. If you see yourself as someone who is focused, you will act focused. If you see yourself as someone who is disciplined, you will act disciplined. If you see yourself as someone who is unstoppable, you will move differently. And this is where most people get it wrong. They try to change their actions without changing their identity. They say, I want to work harder, but deep down they still see themselves as lazy. They say, I want to be confident, but deep down they still doubt themselves. That conflict, that disconnect, it destroys consistency. So every morning, before you do anything else, remind yourself who you are becoming. Not who you were yesterday. Not who people told you you are. Who you are choosing to become. Because identity drives behavior. And behavior, repeated over time, creates results. Now let's talk about discomfort. Because this is where the real separation happens. Discomfort is not your enemy. Discomfort is the signal that you are growing. When you feel that resistance, that voice telling you to go back to sleep, to take it easy, to skip the hard things, that's the exact moment you need to push forward. Because that voice is trying to keep you safe, not successful. Your brain is wired for survival, not greatness. It wants comfort. It wants predictability. But greatness lives outside that comfort zone. So if your mornings feel easy, if they feel familiar, if they feel comfortable, you're not growing, you're maintaining. And maintaining is just another way of slowly falling behind. The person you want to become does things most people avoid. They embrace the hard mornings. They embrace the discipline. They embrace the process when no one is watching. Because they understand something powerful, confidence doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. You don't become confident by telling yourself positive affirmations all day. You become confident by keeping promises to yourself. When you say you'll wake up early, and you do, that builds trust. When you say you'll train your body, and you follow through, that builds strength. When you say you'll stay focused, and you eliminate distractions, that builds control. And over time, that trust becomes unshakable confidence. Not loud confidence, not arrogant confidence, quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't need to prove anything, the kind that walks into a room and changes the energy without saying a word. That's the kind of confidence built in the morning. But here's the part no one likes to hear: it takes time. There is no shortcut. There is no hack. There is no magic formula. It's just you, showing up, again and again and again. Even when it's boring. Even when it's hard. Even when you don't see results yet. Because the results are coming. They're just building beneath the surface. Like a foundation you can't see, but everything depends on. Most people quit because they don't see immediate progress. But the truth is, progress is happening every single day. Every disciplined morning is a brick. Every focused hour is a layer. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll look in the mirror and see someone different. Someone stronger. Someone sharper. Someone unrecognizable. Not because of one big moment, but because of hundreds of small ones. And that's the goal. Not to impress people. Not to prove anything. But to become someone you respect. Because at the end of the day, the only person you can't escape is yourself. So why not build someone you're proud of? Why not build someone who doesn't quit? Who doesn't make excuses? Who doesn't wait for permission? Because you don't need permission. You don't need validation. You don't need perfect conditions. All you need is a decision. A real decision. The kind that doesn't depend on how you feel. The kind that doesn't fade after a few days. The kind that says, no matter what, I'm showing up. And it starts tomorrow morning. Not next week. Not someday. Tomorrow. When your alarm goes off, that's your moment. That's your test. No one will be watching. No one will be clapping. But that decision, that one small decision, will define everything. Because it's not about waking up early. It's about who you become when you do. So play this every morning if you have to. Remind yourself of who you're building. Remind yourself of what's at stake. Remind yourself that comfort is the enemy of growth. And then get up, move, act, because the person you want to become is waiting. And the only thing standing in the way is whether or not you decide to show up today.